Hello everyone, today we are looking at Ghost Trick. This was a very beloved DS game, and it's a very fun game, I guess I would say. What it basically revolves around is essentially you are this spirit that has appeared essentially from this dead guy's body, and you have to go around and solve a bunch of puzzles that essentially save other people from similar tragedies. The one thing I just have to get right off the bat is that the animations in Ghost Trick are amazing. They are so despite it being kind of blocky and choppy on the DS, they're very smooth, and they have a lot of life and animation to them, and a lot of the characters and character designs in this game feel really good. And so essentially the way Ghost Trick works in terms of gameplay and as a loop is that you'll have this little kind of almost video or animation play out, and certain aspects or things will happen in this scenario on screen. And so your job is essentially to intervene and stop when things happen. So you can roll back time and basically intervene and do certain actions. And the way it works is that your body goes from your corpse to all these inanimate objects. And so over on the touchpad screen, you essentially are reaching out to a bunch of blue dots, and you jump from dot to dot until you can get to the thing or the inanimate object you need to get to. And then you have the trick ability. So with the trick ability, you can do things like move objects, cause objects to fall, cause certain objects to light up and distract the characters. And so you're basically playing a ghost and playing a trick on people, but it's really to save them for their own good usually. And so each item in the environment has a different effect and a different thing, and you need to know when to activate it, because it's not just based on time, but also certain things will not react the way you expect them to. And so sometimes you'll do something or the right thing at the wrong time, and you need to rewind time. And so that's basically the premise of this game. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's a very kind of dynamic, active time puzzle system, which I think is super cool. And figuring out how the characters react to certain things in the environment and being able to chain together what exactly the correct order is a lot of fun. And also you have a time limit displayed in the top right that shows you how far into the... Also, the dialogue is pretty entertaining. This game is very kind of lighthearted and almost comical at most times. There's this whole thing about the chicken or the turkey man that essentially is part of this restaurant scene, and is a long-running joke through the game. And so it seems to be mostly based kind of in the UK, I think. And so you have bobbies and stuff like that, and the overall story revolves around this journalist woman called Lynn. And so basically she finds out more than she should, and so you basically have to keep her alive while these hitmen are kind of coming after her and trying to take her out. And so there's certain pranks you play on these guys. So it's kind of like, this is kind of the version of Home Alone in a way. There's a bunch of little things that you can do to cause the enemy to stumble, fall, and kind of, a bunch of goofy things. But again, the animations are really just outstanding for how well they look. Also, a recurring character is Missile the dog, which is serves a bunch of comic relief, who talks very fluidly, but also like a dog really would, very enthusiastically. And again, yeah, it's a very silly, lighthearted game that a lot of people generally like. I do have to say, though, and I have to give spoilers for the ending, because the ending for me was absolutely infuriating and really stupid. So the whole time you're playing as this guy with this, like yellow electric mohawk hair, who's like one of the main guys who dies at the beginning of the game. But at the end of the game, it turns out that's not actually who you're playing as, and that character is just because you assumed that was your physical body, that's your avatar. But it turns out at the end of the game that your real identity is Lynn's cat, who had passed away. So you're playing as this chick's cat that's possessing all these objects and making all these things happen. I don't know if it was because of that or the fact that people say this is like their favorite DS game of all time, that I really did not enjoy this game as much as other people have. I thought this game was kind of quirky, kind of silly, kind of goofy, but nothing like classic or super, super interesting. I was kind of like, oh, that was a fun distraction, but yeah, I thought it was okay. But some people, like, they revere this game. They like, oh, this is like the best, one of the best ones. And I'm just like, I don't get it. And again, the story is just not anything super whatever. And I think the whole thing is that, like, there's a meteorite that, like, hit her cat and killed her and also gave it sentience, which is why you become a spirit and all this other stuff. And it's just very silly, goofy kind of stuff that's just a little bit too goofy for my taste, that I was just like, okay, I guess this was fine, but I would not rank this super high on my list of games to get. Like, it's definitely, like, okay, but yeah. Anyway, that's all I really need to say about this game. Yeah, see you guys.